Welcome into Penn State Sports Night. I'm Kelly Warner here with Hunter Pitcoff and John Keenan. The NBA season is heating up and we are going over all the current trends in the league, and these guys are going to tell me if they're buying or selling. Let's get started. So Paul George's 37 points at Staples Center is the highest point total for a Clipper in his first home game in franchise history. Do you think Kawhi is going to take a back seat to him?
No. Believe it or not, now hear me out here. Am I saying that Kawhi Leonard or Paul George is better than Kawhi Leonard? Also, no. However, look, Mr. Load Management himself, he loves sitting as many games as he possibly can. Paul George has the hot hand right now. He's in his bag. And I'm sure Kawhi Leonard will be like, hey, I'll take that back seat to you all day. Save me for the playoffs. I am sold on the fact that Paul George will be the catalyst, at least for these 82 games of the regular season.
What do you think, John?
Personally, I do agree in a sense. I don't even think there's going to be a first option or a backseat to either of these guys. Both of these guys are so good at what they do, and they're so unselfish with their own playing styles that they're both going to be a one or two option. I think it depends on who's ever in their bag that night. I think if you're the Clippers, having a one or two option of Kawhi or Paul George any night is, if that's the worst of your problems, then you're going to be fine.
All right, so the Suns are perhaps the most surprising team in the NBA this season, and they're fifth in the Western Conference with a 7-4 record. Are the Suns making the playoffs?
I don't think they make the playoffs. However, this is a successful season for the Suns nevertheless. I mean, they brought adults in the room this offseason. Guys like Ricky Rubio, Aaron Baines, Frank Kaminsky. Also can't forget they got Dario Saric as well. They have a basketball team. They haven't had that in a long time. The last couple of seasons, it's just been everyone playing hero ball, trying to establish themselves in the NBA, a bunch of young guys. Now they have a system in place. You have to credit Monty Williams as well. I think he's a front runner for Coach of the Year, in my opinion. And at least for the Suns, there's no more goats dropping deuces in Phoenix, so I think that's ultimately a win there.
And John, what do you think?
I'm going to have to agree with Hunter on this one. I mean, yeah, bringing in Monty Williams and guys like he said, Aaron Baines and Ricky Rubio, they have a bunch of good basketball players on both sides of the ball, and obviously led by, of course, their superstar, Devin Booker.
Of course, you mentioned him.
For them, though, I think it's going to be hard to make the playoffs because they have such good teams below them still, such as like the Clippers, the Mavericks, the Trailblazers even, the Timberwolves. Those teams could make a run in the win column in this latter half of the season. Again, like you said, complete success for the Suns this season, obviously following last year. But I think it's great to see the Suns play well, and I do hope they make the playoffs.
Believe it or not, the Boston Celtics sit at the top of the Eastern Conference with a 10-2 record. Will this team be crowned king of the hill at the end of the season?
I'm going to say no because I think the Bucks are ultimately going to snatch the one seed. But, got to give credit to the Celtics where it's due. Similar thing last year. Everyone was playing for themselves. And I'm not going to completely blame that on Kyrie Irving because guys like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown were falling victim to the same thing. However, that being said, they're playing well within a system, both those guys. They've taken steps up from last year and now more consistent players. And as a result, you see more W's in the win column. However, I am concerned with the fact that the Boston Celtics, they have no big guys at all down low. Both offensively and defensively, teams beat up on them. And in the Eastern Conference are guys like Giannis and Pascal Siakam, guys who can get to the basket at will. They're not going to beat those teams. And as a result, I think they either have to get a buyout candidate or trade for a big, because if not, they're not going to be still on top of the East at all.
John?
Yeah, with regards to being at the top of the hill, I think it's going to be hard for them. I think the East this year is a big toss-up. You have so many good teams like Philly, like you said, the Bucks, even the Heat are good this year. For them to remain at the top, they're having a great season, and like you said, following last year with the drama with Kyrie and players not getting along. I think this year, with Kemba being a leader and a great team player, I think that the Celtics have put together a really good team. To be the top, I think it's going to be hard for them, but I think they're going to have a very decent record by the end of the season.
All right, so Portland signed Carmelo Anthony to ignite some scoring. Do you think he's really going to make that much impact on their season? Or
I mean, stay mellow, of course, but look, I have to say this. You can put ice on a broken arm. It's not going to do much. Now, I'm happy for Melo. I really am, and I think that he'll be a solid addition. However, the Portland Trailblazers have more issues. They got him for a reason because they are struggling right now. They're only 5-8. That's not the start that they thought they're going to get to after making the Western Conference last year. It's a completely new group of cats this year, a lot of moving parts. And I think the one major move that they can make is to trade Hassan Whiteside's terrible contract. Try to get a guy like a Blake Griffin or Andre Drummond from the Pistons or even Kevin Love, bring him back to the home state of Oregon that he's from. That's the only drastic move they can make right now that would really propel them. If not, internally, they have to figure it out with what they currently have.
I'm going to have to disagree a little bit. I think Melo is going to make a big impact on this team. Obviously, the Trailblazers are struggling without Yusuf Nurkic, and now their power forward, Zach Collins, has been out. So I think the addition of Carmelo will be a great impact for them. Obviously, Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum being the big part of their offense. They have 45% of the Trailblazers' points thus far throughout the season. So I think adding a scoring threat like Melo, I think he can come in and give you that 15 points in a quarter or make big shots in the fourth quarter. I think for them, it's if Carmelo wants to accept the role that they put him in. I think he will, because I think he's ecstatic about having a chance to come play again, and I think it's a tryout for him. So I think any point that they put him in, he's going to want to play that way. For me, I think Carmelo, he's going to be a big part of this offense.
Yes,
I think he's going to make a big impact, and I'm happy to see him back in the NBA.
Those were a lot of good points, guys, and there's definitely a lot of basketball left to play. Be sure to catch us right here at Penn State Sports Night for the rest of the NBA season. For Hunter Pitcoff and John Keenan, I'm Kelly Warner. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching our latest edition of Penn State Sports Night. If you're a fan of our content, please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more clips. Also follow us on Twitter at PSSN TV and on Instagram at PSU Sports Night to keep up with the action. For all my colleagues, we are Penn State Sports Night.